Cam Radio, we go ham. It's your boy Tony G and Big Lou. Happy Father's Day. Yay, yay, yay.
Yeah. Happy Father's Day. Salute to all the fathers out there. And
There you go.
Hope your weekend was wonderful. Hope you got a lot of protein in your body, your steaks and your ribs or what have you, So now we get to work all that off, and I got to watch a bunch of good basketball this weekend. Man.
Great basketball. I thought
this weekend.
Man, let's start off with the Clippers.
Okay.
They beat the Jazz.
Mm-hmm.
Jazz had I'm not taking away from the Clippers on this series. They came alive.
Yes.
The Jazz definitely had some injuries.
Mm-hmm.
And as we're finding out through this whole playoff, the injuries are determining who's going where. There's no what'd you think of the win?
Oh, I thought it was a great win. That was the Clippers team that I've been waiting on since the Dallas series. That was the Paul George I've been waiting on since I've been waiting on that Paul George since Oklahoma City.
Right.
But because he's capable. And he showed up and he did his thing. Hats off to Ty Lue for, coming up with a scheme that could put them in the best chance to win. And hats off to those role players. Now, remember when we were saying that there was a chemistry thing? They didn't respect those guys because they didn't show up.
Right.
Or, they were divas, but they wouldn't show up why they should be deserved. Now, Kawhi out. Now it's just Paul George. If Paul George hadn't showed up, it would have been a problem. I don't think it would have went as long as it went. But he showed up. So now everybody else can play now because both of them out the way. Well, at least one of them is out the way. So they can play now. And it worked out in their advantage. And, I got to say kudos to that.
So here's my concern. They just came off of 2 series where they won 7 games.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of stress, a lot of wear and tear. Now you're going against the Suns.
All right.
They lose game 1. Kawhi's injured.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know how long he's going to be out.
I don't think he's coming back.
Oh, I was thinking maybe game 4, but they always print what they want you to. If he doesn't come back, I don't know if they could beat the Suns.
Right. I don't. Because Paul George is not going to be able to, carry them through. We'll see. Just like PG, he shrinks in the 4th.
Yeah.
But those other guys step up and, kind of carry the load. But I agree with you. Without Kawhi, Suns are going to the NBA Finals.
Now, they only won. The Suns only beat them by 6 points.
Right.
It was 120, 114.
Right.
But you and I both know when the Suns get hot, they're I'm not saying they didn't have times of being hot, but when they stay hot for a couple quarters, it's hard to stop them. Especially without Kawhi.
Yeah.
That's interesting. So let me ask you this. We always throw this into the factor. If they lose, we're speaking beyond ourselves, but because we don't know it. If Kawhi loses, you think he leaves the Clippers? He's from LA. It's kind of a hard one.
Yeah, it's kind of a hard one. I don't know. It's kind of a hard one because of,
he's from there.
Of Kawhi,
Yes.
So I don't think he'd leave. I know that Mr. Balmer would blow that up. He'd blow that up. I know if they do lose, he'd probably blow it up. Or since they did, and never got to the Western Conference Finals before, and since they did now, maybe they just need to tweak it a little bit.
I think Kawhi's been there 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Correct? 2 years.
Yeah, 2 years.
I think the demand that the media and maybe the public puts on these teams. I mean, it takes time to. I mean, here's the deal: we're asking if Kawhi is going to. He's made it so he made it further than even if they get knocked out, they're further than they've ever been.
Mm-hmm.
Still an accomplishment. But you know, in today's cancel society, it's like
Yes.
that's not good enough. That's just
Yes.
not good enough. It's like, well, gee, they've never been there before.
Right.
And like you said, there's going to be some people walking around when this season's over. There's going to be some players that maybe we may even be surprised that they're unhappy.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know if Brooklyn keeps the big three. We don't know, because things will happen, and anybody else going over there could definitely make. The thing is with Kawhi, some people go, you and Big Lou are on Kawhi. It's just hard to figure him out because he never puts any urgency. You know what I'm saying? And maybe and he's never really mad. He's never really excited, and you don't know if is he going to be on fire tonight? I mean, but he's a great player. He's just different. It's just hard to read.
Yeah, he's a quiet guy.
He is
he's not a Chris Paul type leader.
No,
Chris Paul is a audible type.
I'll tell you exactly.
Kawhi is a more my game speaks for it. My game does the talking. So it's hard for guys to get a chemistry with Kawhi because he's quiet. Because, like you said, they don't know when they need to cut. Is it on you? And I believe that's what the Paul George problem was. Because when Kawhi got out the way, Paul lit up.
Right.
I think it's not so much now that, now that I think about it, it probably wasn't so much not Chris Paul.
Why?
Paul George. Wasn't so much Paul George shrinking. It was him trying to figure out
what his role was.
Yeah, if it's me, is it me or you?
Is it my turn to shoot or?
Yeah. Who?
Now you don't have to think about it. Yeah.
In the frustration of what to do when, that throws everything off. It throws your shot off. Your spot's not hot anymore because do I need to go to my spot? Do I need to make my own shot? What do I do?
But with Kawhi out,
I believe that's probably
yes. With Kawhi out, you have a good point. With Kawhi out, there's no questions asked. He knows what to do. He knows what he's going to do, and he knows what he's going to make the team do.
Yeah, and everybody else points went up. You analytic guys, go look it up. Go look up in the playoffs when Kawhi was on the court and now when he's off. And see, and the surrounding players and Paul George to see if the numbers don't go up when he's out the way because now they can talk. Hey, over there, I got this.
Yes, right.
Communication's there.
Yeah.
So this is going to be an incredible series. If Chris Paul comes back, it's going to be difficult a little bit for the Clippers. If Chris comes back and Kawhi don't, they've already got one win, and if they win tomorrow, the questions are going to be, can the Clippers come back from yet another 0-2 deficit?
Yeah. And go another 7.
Yeah, it's another hill to climb, and each hill is harder to climb because these guys with the Suns are not like Utah in a sense because of the fact that they have a true center. The Suns do. They don't have a center that necessarily has to be a 3-point fire.
Right. That's true about Utah. That's true.
Now
That's
you have to. Now you got to work that middle. But you got people firing up, and then you got Devin Booker, and he's a whole segment altogether. So
absolutely.
So it's going to be a great 7-game series. If the Clippers lose tomorrow, it is going to be hard for them to dig. And I know that the Suns are going to have a cold night on the road. They always do. They always had that one game where the shot not hit. All the teams do. You got to feel the rim or you got to make your spots and stuff. So, yeah. It's going to be a wonderful series. It's going to go 7. I think Suns are going to get them in 7 for the simple fact that their home court is bananas. Now, if the Clippers take one, if the Clippers take game 2, then we're going to see like, yeah, okay, now let's dig in the mud but Suns are a different animal.
Chris Paul, I say you don't need it, but if he could win a title, because everybody talks about Chris Paul. Chris Paul's great. But if he could get a ring, then all of a sudden he's with everybody else. You know, he's with KD. Because he's got the accolades to be. Yeah. He just don't have the silverware. You know, you don't have that jewelry. Because he's got the chops. There's no doubt about it. So let's talk about Atlanta, the little team that could.
Fly, Hawks fly.
I'm telling you, just won't say die.
Wow.
I like it.
Wow.
Does Ben Davis stay in not Ben, I said Ben in Philly.
Did Simmons?
Ben Simmons, I said Ben Davis. Ben Davis shirts. Remember Ben Davis shirts?
Yeah.
Ben Simmons, my gosh. Does he stay in Philly?
No. They got to get him out of there. For that performance that he had in that fourth quarter, the fans are going to run him out of there. You know, you can't have a point guard, especially of his talent, that's afraid to take a shot, 1, and 2, afraid to get to the free throw line because, you know, that's an Achilles heel. And it's effort and it's up here. Because he's got the talent. You just got to learn. If you learn how to shoot, you'll be dangerous. But, I mean, and I hear a lot of people say that it's not just Ben, it's Doc too, because, you know, everywhere he goes, he doesn't make it. Then he left the Clippers, and now they're in the Western Conference Finals. You know, they put all that on it. But I just have to say that it can't work with Embiid. They cannot win with him on that team. Now, he could go to another team and be great. And one of the analysts, I heard it earlier today, they said that Ben Simmons is like Draymond Green. No, because Draymond Green can't really shoot, but he's a good defender, cleanup guy. And,
very good defender, yes.
Right. And the difference is he will hit a 3 on you every now and again.
Yeah.
But with Ben, it's like it's not there. But if he went to a team that you can put shooters around, oh, he's great. He'd be great.
Well, that would make him a good fit at Golden State then.
Absolutely.
Really, if you want to, he'd be perfect in Golden State. Then he'd be a great fit. Yeah, because everyone around you can shoot. Yeah, we don't need you. You can do what you do.
Yeah,
and
we'll get you the ball inside where you like it. You know, you'll be good to go. So when you throw it out, you're doing what you're supposed to do. You don't have to worry. You know, you can use what you don't like to do to your advantage.
Yes, but we don't need you to shoot any threes. We got that. We just need.
Yeah, we don't need you nowhere near that line. You know, we got that.
Yeah,
just do what you do on the inside and clear. You know.
Yeah, that would make him a great fit for Golden State. That would be a great player.
That's absolutely right. That's absolutely right. That's a good one. But yeah,
so what do you?
Yeah, he won't. He can't.
I know. He can't. But what? So what do you give Atlanta? What percent? Do you give them a good shot of winning it all?
Yes, if Trae Young gets smarter with his threes.
He gets a little wild. He gets to where he's like
a little jack happy. You know,
he does.
The adrenaline's in him. He gets a little jack happy. That kind of worries me. You can't do Milwaukee like that because they're a good team. You know, we had our doubts with Giannis.
Yeah.
And a lot of them guys, but he pulled through as well and did his thing, and and I applaud him for that. But
yes, we'll get to that. Yeah, we're going to talk about the Bucks when we come back from break. But So what I like about Atlanta plays good defense.
Mhm.
They shoot the ball well. Obviously, they shoot the ball well, but it's almost as if though, I mean, they're playing with a purpose. Like they have a point to prove, and I think a lot of people overlook them all season. Um, and I think they're playing with a point to prove, and they're playing great team ball, as we always say.
Right.
They play well together, and I don't think in my heart of hearts that they're afraid of Milwaukee.
No.
Just don't. I don't believe, because it doesn't matter to them because we are further than you said we could be anyway.
Right.
We at this point we have nothing to lose because
Nothing
Milwaukee
to
has
lose,
everything
nothing
to
to fear
lose.
either.
Yeah,
Because
right.
we just went through Ben Simmons,
That's
the
right.
MVP.
That's right.
So
That's true. I mean, that's the whole thing. And so
right.
Milwaukee, why should they be afraid of them? I mean, they're just another team like we beat these other two that you said we couldn't beat. So to us, they can be beat. And we know that. We know Milwaukee. Yeah, Milwaukee can be beat. It's not that they can't. Especially, one thing about Milwaukee is, boy, if you can get in their head, they start hanging their head. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they are doing that, and you're like, man, what are you doing? And then they fall behind, and if you can stay mentally tough, and Trey ain't playing, man. He's talking smack. He's just lighting you up, and he don't care. And I give him a good shot of beating Milwaukee because they beat everyone else that's put in front of them.
Mm-hmm.
Milwaukee's going to be a tough test for them. Like I said, we'll see game one, and we can kind of go from there. When we come back from break, we're going to talk about the Bucks and the Nets. When we get back, we're going to pay some bills. I want to thank everyone for tuning in on Tuesday night on KM Radio, where me and Big Lou preside every Tuesday night. All right, guys, want to pay some bills right here on KM Radio, where we go ham. KM Radio, where we go ham. It's your boy Tony G and Big Lou on the sports book on KM Radio, digital radio. Tune in every Tuesday night. We're just talking some basketball. Let's talk about. We just kind of went off on Atlanta. And let's talk about the Bucks and the Nets. So the Bucks won 115, 111.
Mm-hmm.
I can't take anything away from the Bucks. I think they turned it around. They put it on. They did what they were supposed to do. But in the back of my head, it's got a loom in my head saying, what if the big three wasn't injured? Right. I know it doesn't matter. Because they won the stuff. But what matters to me is, do you think – I think Atlanta's going to give them – you think they're going to take Atlanta lightly?
I don't know because you can't because Nate McMillan's a good coach. Everywhere he goes, he succeeds, and I don't think. I mean, if they do, it's gonna hurt them. I don't think that the Bucks are gonna wash over them because of the fact that there's so much importance on them, getting to the finals, especially with Giannis. So I don't think they're going to take them lightly. I do believe that it is going to be a 7-game series, but it's going to be the. I do believe that. I do believe that they're going to take Atlanta seriously, especially Trae Young. And Gallinari and because these guys can shoot. It's not just Trae Young.
No, it's not.
All these guys can shoot.
Yeah.
So they're gonna have their hands full. The Bucks have a deeper team, but Atlanta has the shooting percentage from Atlanta is crazy. So it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. You know?
I think it's going to be a good series. I really do.
Yeah.
I think all the pressure's on Milwaukee.
Yeah.
I truly believe that all the pressure's on Milwaukee. 'Cause Atlanta has nothing. Nothing. They're not playing for nothing. But they were. What are they? The 6th seed, 7th seed, or what were they? 6th seed?
I think it was 6 or 5 seed. I think.
All right, 6 or 5. What I mean,
Mm-hmm.
Milwaukee's. I mean, they're just. Some people, this happened to be there, but they're playing awesome, and they got a swag to them. You know what I mean? They went into New York, beat them. A lot of people think they can beat them. Then you go to Philly. A lot of people, I ain't going to say that I believe they could beat Philly. I mean, they won a couple games, and I thought, oh, man, they're going to give Philly rally back, and then Atlanta comes and does their magic. So getting to the Nets, big three. Are they going to be there next year? Because I've already heard that they don't know if all three of them are going to be there next year.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure with that. I do think that they should run it back, with all of them healthy. I'm very interested in seeing, what they're capable of doing with all of them healthy, clicking together,
Yeah, they had a pretty amazing run. If they could just be healthy in the playoffs, I mean, they only played, again, we brought this up a couple weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
They played 8 games during the regular season together.
Right.
8 games. I mean,
And that's not even enough practice.
Yeah.
That's not even enough practice together, And because Tony, I do believe that the super team, big three thing, I do believe that that's fizzling out. I do believe that it's coming because of the high volume shooting, but the Suns are the counterpart to that because they're still playing mid-range jumper, inside outside basketball, and it's right for them. But you're gonna have to have that 3 ball. But I do believe the whole super team thing. Think that the big three thing is kind of dying down. I think because of the fact of the teams that are in, the Final Four that we got set up now. And because of when all of those pieces are not there, when you got 3 big pieces, you don't have enough for the pieces around them when they go down.
No, you spend all your money on the big three. So you're lacking the other 6. Yeah, you can't afford the bench. You can't afford the other
bench.
So when one of them goes down.
Yeah. So with the Milwaukee Bucks of the world and the Phoenix Suns of the world, the Clippers of the world, so to speak, even though they got a big 2.
Yeah.
But they have they have a deeper team. They have a supporting cast, and that's where these teams hurt at. And I believe now owners are starting to see that. It was like, okay, if we get 2 guys and build a great team around it, then we can do some things. But I do believe that there's that.
I think another problem is like we talked about earlier on the show was, they put a lot on them. If they don't bring them back, it's like 1 season. That was it. You're only willing to commit to 1 season.
Right.
I would think you would try to lock them up for 3 and see what you can do with 3. This year, obviously, the injuries, and then because you know what you're working with, and maybe you can get some supporting cast. Because if they would have just a little bit more, because hey, the Bucks only beat them 115, 111.
And it took overtime to do that.
Yeah, it wasn't like they came in and smoked them. It wasn't like that.
They didn't run them off the court, and that's just with one of them.
Yes. That's exactly right.
That's just with KD.
Yeah.
So
KD had 48 points, by the way. Let's throw that in there.
Yeah.
So he had almost. He was close. He was 40% of their scoring. If you brought in some other players that could help him out, a little bit more. There's no telling what they could have done. But yeah, I hope they can keep them together for I hope they could keep them together for 3 years because, geez, man, that's just not even. I don't know. It just doesn't even make sense to put. But that's kind of the world we live in right now. Now.
right now. And
Yeah,
and with those guys, and I agree, KD's had playoff experience, Kyrie's
yeah.
had playoff experience, Harden, he's came up short, but those two guys make it easy for him. So I get it when they say, well, it was championship or bust for these guys, but and yes, injuries are part of the game, but we also had to have a mind that okay, they got hurt, so we didn't expect for the injuries to happen. You never do. You expect, injuries are a part of it, but you don't expect them to happen when they happen. It's just free. It's going to happen. And we just got to roll with the punches. I think they, get everybody healthy. Everybody work together, run it back, see what your investment will bring you.
Well, you want to talk about injuries playing a role. The Nets, the Jazz,
Mhm.
The Nets and the Jazz injuries. Portland had injuries.
Mhm.
You had,
Yep.
I mean, that's 3 series right there.
Yep.
I mean, so a lot of injuries played a lot of factors in this.
Right.
In these playoffs. I mean, some major LA. There. I mean, how could I forget about LA? AD.
Both of them.
Yeah, both of them. So both of them.
And Lakers.
Yeah. I mean, so you're talking 5 teams. I mean, had some major injuries. So it's a major factor that I don't know if they, sure they were, people, you're not prepared for that. I mean, I'm sure Brooklyn was hoping that, the Nets could stay together.
Mhm.
But I mean, I didn't expect 2 of them to get hurt. I mean, you realize at one point, all 3 of them, KD came back from an injury, and then then Harding got hurt, and Kyrie, it was just like, wow, how much bad luck could and Harding tried to come back and play, but it just
it wasn't nothing he could do.
No, he was hurt.
Hamstring injuries is it takes a long time for that muscle to get back right. So
Just like AD trying to play with the groin.
right, don't
I
worry.
mean,
Doesn't
yeah,
work.
I mean, I admire
the.
I admire the.
2 minutes again. I can't do it.
Yeah. Yeah, that was.
But,
yeah, you could barely.
we appreciate it. We appreciate the effort to let us know that you're tough, that you're not a weak guy. We appreciate that, but we also are aware that you need to heal. So,
Absolutely.
Okay, you're a tough guy now. Congratulations. Now heal. And
yes.
find out what it is. And I also heard that the Lakers have fired their trainer because of the injuries to all of the players. I'm not so cool with that. Because individual has to play a part in that too. It wasn't a lot. It's like the whole team wasn't hurt.
He hurt the whole team. It was a trainer's fault.
Now, if it was 5-6 players hurt, you got to check into that. But this is a player that we know has a history of injuries because of how he wants to play, but his body's not built for the way he wants to play.
Right.
So that's on him.
I hope that's not true. I hope it's not. But if it is, that's kind of a shiesty thing to do to the trainer because, like you said, these guys there's only so much the trainer can do, and I think, because AD he has injury, he's prone to injury.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's
even in New Orleans, injury. He's injury prone, injury played. So to me, that has to do with your training.
Yeah. AD going to LA, he got his championship that he wanted so desperately, which I understand.
Mm-hmm.
He got out of New Orleans. It would have been great for him to stay, and they still got, they got the number 1 pick. That could have been special, but it is what it is. I guess it's just we'll just have to wait and see on the playoffs. What coincides. I mean, we got some good games coming up. We got the Clippers and the Jazz. We got our guys in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Heading over to the Bucks.
Yeah.
So this is, I mean, we got, like I said, we got a great week coming up. Definitely got some good basketball. You know, I like. They're gonna favor the Bucks over Atlanta.
Mhm.
I already know that.
Yeah.
If it's 5 points, take Atlanta, because I don't see the Bucks blowing Atlanta out. I see it being a 3-point game, or but anything over 5, you got to take. I mean, 5 and above, the Bucks are not the Bucks. Anything over 5 with Atlanta, you got to take Atlanta. Now with the Clippers, with the Suns being the number 1 seed, Suns being the number 2 seed. My apologies, they were number 2. Jazz.
Yeah. Jazz number 1. Yeah.
You're probably not going to get great odds on that. The rest of the series with the Suns, you just have to pay close attention on what the spread is. But I like the Suns. I like the Suns to win that in 7 tomorrow night. If they go up 2-0, and Kawhi is out for game 3 and 4, I don't think they can do it. I think
if that's the scenario, if Kawhi doesn't come back,
game 3,
6 games.
Yeah. 6 games. Yeah.
6 games.
And it may even be
back. It's going to go the full 7 because they're going to be up 2-0, and they're going to have the home court advantage. That's why I say Suns in 7 if Kawhi's there.
Right. They'll be playing 3 and Sandy or at the Clippers. You play 2 at the Suns, 3 at the Clippers, 2 at the Suns.
Right. And we know the Suns is going to steal one of those games. At the Clippers.
They're going to try their. And if they take the first one, they're going to try to take. They're going to go back. They're going to try to go back to back there. They're going to try to end it. I think the Suns want to finish this as quick as possible, so they can get some rest.
They can get some rest.
Yes.
Chris Paul will be cleared from quarantine protocol, and then they can, get some work done, get some work together.
Yeah, they don't need to go. Whoever, and they need some rest. Like I said, the only team that's really gotten some rest is the Bucks. Got the 4-0. They had plenty of rest. And then they went 7. But if the Clippers or the Suns they go 7. I mean, geez, the Clippers have gone 3 series 7.
3 series, 7 games down, digging out of the hole.
Yes, it would be nice to play from a nice. And Kawhi's not old enough for me to. I mean, I'm sure the wear and tear on him's got to be playing a factor. Because going 7, then going 7, and 2 nail busters. I mean, I think it's got to be playing. It's got to be playing. It's got to be playing on. I know he's in great shape and everything, but holy cow, man, that's definitely a lot of wear and tear. It's been a long season,
right?
But I think a short season. Then they went right to it was a short layoff to go to the season,
right?
So, I mean, and like we talked about before, and that may have played some part in some of the injuries, and again, some of the age of some of the people we're talking about may have played. There's a lot of factors,
right,
of why, what, and where. But I think it's going to be a great series. When we come back from break, talk a little NFL. Got some stuff going on the NFL with Kansas City, Pittsburgh. Yeah, Pittsburgh. So it'll be a good one. I want to thank everyone, as always. We got a little bit, for tuning in every Tuesday night on the sports book. Like I said, we got a lot of great things coming up here. And in the months to come, just stick well, especially during football season, because during football season, it is just people go, why do you always say that? I was like, the NBA playoffs are good, the NBA seasons is good, the MLB is good, the hockey, but something about football season just gets, it's cold and people are watching the games more. It's Sunday, man.
Yeah, and then it's the best bang for your buck.
Yes, it is.
Football and horse racing.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Can't beat it.
You know, I mean, it works. All of it works. You know, I'm still trying to learn how they do the golf thing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's all right. We'll get it. We'll get you there. We'll get you there.
But
hey, man, we're going to go pay some bills. I appreciate you all listening to us every Tuesday night, me and Big Lou, right here on KM Radio. We go ham.
Hell.
KM Radio, we go ham. It's your boy Tony G and Big Lou every Tuesday night, 8 o'clock. Sports book. We're talking about basketball and what we think. And now we're going to talk about a little, or a bunch, and not a bunch, but a little bit of NFL football. So I was reading today on some stuff, what's going on. So they say that, like, they make it sound like they convinced him, but so Chicago's going to start. Justin Fields isn't going to start for the Bears.
Right.
Andy Dalton is going to start. So, you know, they got this big article. You know, my thing is Lou, I think it's good for these young quarterbacks to come in for a season or half a season, you know, get some stuff, you know, get it all kind of worked out, build up some
awareness.
Yeah, awareness.
Because it's you know, and I agree. You know, build up some awareness, soak it in first.
Yeah. Before
you have to just sit back and watch the show before you have to go dive into it. Yeah, I think it's a good thing because your first round draft quarterback, that's like your franchise. You're looking for your franchise quarterback. So if you can groom him, then absolutely. And Andy Dalton's not a bad quarterback.
He's not. He catches a lot of slack. I know they weren't happy with him in Dallas last year. But, you know, they had problems with the line. They had problems with their defense.
Right.
I mean, it wasn't like the guy walked into this great setup.
Right.
You know, they blamed him for everything underneath the sun.
Brand new head coach. Never played for him.
Yeah.
Paid for him before. Never played for Mike McCarthy before. So now you got to learn his way of playing.
And not saying Chicago, he's walking into a great setup. Yeah. But I think walking into a pretty good setup if that line could be okay. And I think Justin Fields, because of his football, that's what I always talk about, his football brain and his football knowledge. Mm-hmm. I think he'll absorb so much, and I wouldn't be surprised if Andy doesn't make it through the year. But at the same time, I wouldn't be surprised if he did. And the reason why I say that, I know it's like, well, wait a minute, you just said, because really the Bears have had an atrocious quarterback play for 2 years.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Trubinsky and the guy from Philly. Who was their quarterback last year? Not Trubinsky, but they had
Wentz.
I mean,
Carson
Wentz. Carson. Yeah. So I forgot. Excuse me, I forgot his name. For 2 years they've had an atrocious quarterback play.
Right.
I think if Andy can just be pretty good, and not make stupid mistakes like they made, because some of the quarterback play that Chicago had was terrible. Right. So I think if he could just maintain pretty good, I think he could do all right. And like I said, I think Justin Fields can learn a lot. Mm-hmm. I think he can learn the system well. And if they get him they upgrade a little bit on the line, a couple more, weapon, here and there, I think the kid will do okay. Because if you really think about it, what's the one thing that the Chicago Bears have always had problems with? The quarterback.
Yep.
They've never had a great quarterback. I mean, it's always been, they had McMahon. He did win a Super Bowl, and he wasn't a great quarterback. He was a great character. Yeah, he was a great character, and he had a certain toughness about him that he was going to make guy. Yeah, he was a Chicago guy. He was, but great. I wouldn't say great, but he was definitely.
Tough,
Yes.
And he
The
was a
one thing
good,
that Chicago,
he was a good quarterback. Good
good
quarterback.
quarterback.
Yeah.
Good. They had a great defense, and he was a good quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
That's what Chicago's always been known for, was great defenses.
Right.
So it'll be interesting to see. I'll tell you, this is another one I found a little bit interesting today. That Bell doesn't want to play for Kansas City anymore.
Right.
He said he doesn't want to come back and play for Andy Reid.
Which is crazy, you know. But
yeah, I've never heard anything really. I've never heard anyone really talk bad about Andy Reid.
No.
I'm sure somebody somewhere, but I've never heard a quarterback ever say anything but praise about him.
Or a player for that fact.
Or a player. That's what I'm saying. I was just trying to be. I don't know. So I don't know, but Bell and the wide receiver from Pittsburgh,
Antonio Brown.
Yeah, they were kind of in their own. They had their own little. I don't know if they were
their attention bubble, their media attention bubble, and all of that gratification, they can't see through that. You know, you can't see through being humble and respecting. In order for you to be one of the greats, you got to respect and soak all the knowledge from the people that's been there. You know, you got to take advantage of your situations. Yes, Kansas City is not, and Andy Reid too does not run a running back friendly offense.
Absolutely,
and I'll give him that much.
Yeah, I'll give him that. But you didn't have to go there with
hardware.
That's right.
On players, on teams.
Yes.
So what's more important to you?
Right.
Getting a whole bunch of carries, or making your hand heavy?
That's right. I agree with. I definitely. But you knew that when you went to Kansas City.
Right. That's why you wanted to go there.
Yeah. Take some of the stress off him. You didn't have to carry the team. But Antonio Brown. He went to Kansas City. He went to He went to Tampa Bay.
Mm-hmm.
He bedded himself all year, and he believed in Tom Brady.
Yeah, he's the only guy that could
whatever reason.
He was the only guy that could tap into whatever it is that humbles him. And maybe sometimes when you're a diva like some of these guys, and then you see somebody that's on a whole nother level, and you see how they do it, like, wow, this guy's got all this, and he's humble.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. He's got way more.
You have to see somebody that's bigger than you, but more humble than you, for you to see that, oh, okay. So that's why he gravitates to Tom, because Tom is his Lex Luger, so to speak.
Right. That's true.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, I'm pretty much, as far as like being famous, if you will, is concerned, I'm pretty much that guy. I know all these guys, this, that, and third, but I'm pretty much that guy. And then you run into a guy that's, whoa.
At a whole different level.
Right. And then you got your Super Bowl ring.
And you followed what I told you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I told you what we could do, and I executed it. Right. I mean, I'm sure Antonio Brown's just like, okay, I'm good. I'll do what do I need to do?
Yeah, I'm good.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's like he showed him maybe a lot of with Pittsburgh, some players don't really gravitate to Tomlin, and some players do.
Mm-hmm.
Tomlin's like, some players could take him, some players could leave him. It just depends on what kind of person you are. Because Tomlin's not. I'd say he's very old school, cut to the point. He's not
he's a young guy where he understands the youth, but he has a old school mentality.
Yes, he does.
Where your character and your integrity and your word, he he lives off of that, and he expects that out of people. And a lot of guys don't know anything about those traits, so they don't know how to take it. I've been in situations like that at a job where I work with a lot of young guys. Right. I'm ex-military and a military brat, so that's all I know. So right. So now I'm managing a bunch of guys that didn't come up the way I came up. Sure. So I had to reflect and say, hey, Lou, these guys don't know your experience.
Sure.
So you can't treat them like somebody that's experienced life like you have.
Right.
So I had to learn how to be a little
communicate with other people.
Yeah, I had to be a little concerning because I was very cutthroat. Like,
right.
What, you cut your hand, put a Band-Aid on and go back to work. That part. But I
like it. Suck it up. Suck it up.
Yeah, I had to wash it off. I had to wash it off with the water and put the Neosporin on the cut and put one of those little Spider-Man Band-Aids on. I had to do all that. I didn't know. And
hey, man, that's why some coaches work well with some players and some players work well with some coaches. It just kind of is. I was just, like I said, I was kind of surprised that Bell said he was not going to come back. I think he even said he was going to retire.
Yeah, he said he would retire before he would go back and play for the Chiefs. I mean, they would just cut you. Hey, they're not losing any money.
I know, right?
It's like, okay, fine.
Yeah, and Reed was like, all Reed said was, I wish him well.
Yeah.
That's just how I roll. He goes, I wish him the best. It was a pleasure having him on the team, and I hope in all his endeavors he does, he's successful. And he goes, that's it. I don't have anything else to. He said, I feel confident with the running game that we already have. That, when you could go 50-50 run pass, or you can go 60-40 pass run. I mean, I feel comfortable in that situation too. I mean, I don't see why it wasn't like, with the Titans are run heavy.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You stop Henry, you stop the Titans.
Right.
And now, of course, they got a bad to the bone wire. Obviously, they got a bad Julio Jones.
Mm-hmm.
The next thing is now you got to get Julio Jones the ball.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm not taking anything away from their quarterback situation. I'm just saying I don't know how he does with throwing the ball that many times.
Right.
We'll see. But I don't know. We'll see if he actually. I don't know. He may retire. How old is he? 31.
Yeah, and he's not making his. He's not making a good resume for himself, because when you left the Jets to go to KC, you really didn't have a spectacular highlight over there.
Yeah.
Now we all understand that it was the Jets, and that the offensive line was atrocious, and we get that. But, for you to say what you said, that means that you had to have a resume to back that up. You died when you left Pittsburgh. So, and whatever reason, that's your reasoning, do what's best for Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah, absolutely.
But at the same time, your case is hard to believe because you have other players that's played from him from days of past up until now. It's like, and then he could have got on the podium and made it very difficult for you to get another job. He could have did,
right.
But he did. He highlighted all the positive attributes and wished you well.
Yeah, he really did, man. That was, but that shows a lot of class for Andy Reid.
Right.
And
so
I don't know.
Like,
it'll be interesting to see where he ends up.
Yeah.
Because whoever takes him, you take a lot of baggage.
Right.
And that's the thing a lot of these guys don't realize is when you become a cancer, nobody wants you. You know what I'm saying? Nobody wants to
put up with that, especially in football where, team camaraderie is part of the chemistry of them being successful. They don't want distractions, selfish attitudes. They can do without that.
Yeah. Well, you look at the teams. I'll give you an example. You look at the teams in the NFL that are moving in the right directions. Tennessee Titans, Buffalo Bills, Miami, New England, obviously Tampa Bay, San Fran. You know, there's a lot of teams that are moving in the right direction. They may not be next year's Super Bowl, but they're moving in the right directions or playoff. Nobody wants to take – yeah, I mean, Cincinnati may want them. You know what I'm saying? I mean, but Cleveland, you know, they're already moving in the right direction. I mean, they don't need any distractions. They don't need any kind of I'm bigger than the team attitude. These are teams that have been losers for a long time that in the last 3 years have turned it around. They're going in the right direction. They don't want to go back and go, oh, we got another diva on our team. They don't need any divas. I mean, that's my opinion. You know, everybody's got their own opinion. I understand they got to do what's best for them, and that's cool. I wish them the best. Hopefully he makes a gazillion dollars, and you know, going forward. But it's like we were talking about this the other day. They were talking about Wilson trying to make everything right in Seattle. And you know, every time we bring this up, you know, people go, you say the same thing. And it was like, I know, but you asked for all the money. We gave you all the money. Right. And then when we didn't have money to pay anybody, all the pressure was on you. And yes, you won some games for us. You willed us some games. But the problem is you only can will so many because eventually you're going to run across teams that's got 11 studs and you only got 7. And then your defense has only got 6, but they got 11. They got 2 more sitting. You took all the ammunition. Right. You know what I mean? You took
all the ammunition. We can't get high caliber players
with your payroll.
Own all the pot. All the pot is in your
hand. It's just crazy to me. And, you know, and like I said, we don't know what's going on. We'll see what goes on with Green Bay.
Yeah.
Hey, you know, we don't have that much longer before we got 60 days before the preseason or whatever. I mean, it's getting close.
Yeah, it's getting close. It's getting close quickly.
So decisions will be made, and I wouldn't be surprised in the next 2 or 3 weeks we see something with Roger one way or the other. We'll see. I don't know. I could be totally wrong. But yeah, kind of crazy what they're doing and what's going to happen in the NFL. It's going to be a great year in the NFL. It's 17 games. It's going to be a long season. You're going to see a lot. I think you're going to see a lot of interesting things. I want to thank everybody, man, for tuning in with us another Tuesday night. Me and Big Lou, much love to y'all for listening to us and tuning in and sending us stuff on Facebook, emailing. We appreciate you guys listening to us, listening to the KM family. Like I said, KM family's got a lot of great talk shows, blues you can use, got a gospel hour, got whatever. You got it. You got to tune in, look at the forecast of what we got going on, and a lot of great things coming. So, all right, guys, we appreciate you every Tuesday night right here on KM Radio. Where we go, ham.